The Nashville Predators are my favourites to win the Stanley Cup. Now, we haven't even got to the playoffs yet. The playoffs start next month. We've got like 3 weeks left of the regular season, but Nashville are my favourites for the Stanley Cup. And you just have to look at their form and how the team are playing. The Kyle Turris Duchesne triangle trade between Colorado, Ottawa, and Nashville has obviously benefited Nashville the most. They've got the most out of that trade. There was a few minor picks and minor players going around, but it's basically Duchesne to Ottawa deal that hasn't really worked. But look how the Nashville Predators have been performing all year. They have carried on. They were 8th seeds last year, and they carried on with how they finished the playoffs. Okay, they didn't win against Pittsburgh, but they basically carried that momentum on into this year, and they've just carried on going, and they've been going and keeping the momentum going. They've had a few losses and a few wobbles, and the Central Division has been very, very tough, and they've worn down everyone else. It was very, very close until about a month and a bit ago. Then St. Louis have completely had a collapse. The trade deadline has now passed. Winnipeg have stayed in the top 3 constantly, but we've dropped back. We've lost twice now against Nashville in the last few games, including yesterday, 3-1. And the way Nashville have been playing, I mean, I don't see how anyone can stop them. I think they've beaten every major rival in the West at some point this season, and that is important, because any team who gets in the playoff in the West will at some point possibly have to come against this team in the conference final, or they're the wild card spot, or whatever it may be. And Nashville seem to have that psychological advantage over these teams as well. They've also trounced some teams in the East as well in the regular season. So when it comes to playoffs, the East, I think, is the weaker conference. I think they've got the weaker divisions. It's difficult, really, because the playoff race is really hotted up now, and Nashville are very comfortable where they are. They haven't got the biggest gap of a division leader, that's this team Vegas, but they are very comfortable where they are. They have basically been more consistent where other rivals have wobbled, and their goal scoring is they're still thumping the goals in. They're still keeping shutouts. They've got Pekka Subban on the blue line. They've got Pekka Rinne in net. They have just the strongest forward pack of 12 forwards. They can roll all 4 lines, and they do that with pace. They've added to a strong side. They have depth where other teams don't. They're not having so many problems with injuries as other teams are. Injuries have affected every team this season, but they seem to have affected Nashville less. Pekka Rinne is on course to win a Vezina as well. This team is a steamroller, and I see it very, very difficult for any team to stop. I really do think it's very difficult for any team to stop them right now. But stranger things have happened. Obviously, Nashville were ranked outsiders last year, and they got to the Stanley Cup final. So stranger things have happened. We'll have to see what happens in the playoffs. This has been a very strange season at times, especially with Vegas doing what they've done. But we'll have to see what happens in the next couple of months, and we'll see, who gets to the Stanley Cup final. I may be proven wrong, because you can be a very good regular season team like what the Washington Capitals have been for many years and be hopeless in the playoffs. So winning the President's Trophy is sometimes the President's curse, because the team that puts so much effort into the regular season is generally pretty tired when it comes to playoffs. Now, as a Winnipeg fan, we've got players to come back from injury by the time of the playoffs, so we may have some fresher, rested players who can come in. Nashville don't have those injuries yet, so all these players are playing at this really high, intense level. And that's probably their one weakness, is they put too much effort into the regular season rather than holding it back a little bit for the playoffs. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. They're my pick for the Stanley Cup. I'm not one of those sports channels that gets all the numbers up and does look at this. I'm not one of them at this stage. Firstly, I like the space for the set, and secondly, it's just not my style. Maths is not my strong suit. But getting a feel from how teams are playing, that's what I do. And every video I've seen of Nashville, they look a well-oiled machine. They're one of the most stable franchises as well, with the GM and coaching changeover. They've only had 2 coaches and 1 GM in their entire history. And that's a well-run side as well. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, subscribe, place comments below, and I'll have some more videos for you soon.